What's up, guys? This is Kyle from Wax Museum, and I am back with another Panini Silhouette video. And if you can't tell by now, I really love this product, and I like a lot of the patch pictures that you guys have been sending me so far. I will say just a word of caution. There have been some questionable ones that are starting to pop up. I'm not going to show those and try and differentiate what's good and what's not. I will say just look at the context whenever you're looking at patches. Look at the print runs, look at the players, try and get an overall view of everything that's available. But one that I've really enjoyed that people have sent me was one that was posted on Reddit by a user named Tiny Failure. And he said, finally completed my Andrew Wiggins Logo Man collection from Silhouette after 3 months. And he's got a couple different warm up type of Logo Mans on there, including that jumbo one from the jacket that you see on the right, or the jacket style that you see on the right. So I really enjoyed seeing that. And I thought, you know what? Let's just start off with that. And then we can kind of move into some of the other Timberwolves stuff. Surprise, surprise, there's more of that in this product. This one here, I knew it was definitely an Adidas Ultimate tee of some sort, because I've seen that even on my own clothes, but I've seen it on warm-ups and stuff like that as well. So I feel pretty confident, though, that for the Timberwolves, that it's from this style of shirt that you see on the right, which was a very popular Adidas style shirt at the time. I have one for a couple different teams here at the house. They're very comfortable, and they've held up pretty well too. But we've also seen Panini use these for Timberwolves relics in the past. So, for instance, on the left there, you see a Karl Anthony Towns. And then on the right, even though that's a Jazz card, they use Timberwolves logo, Timberwolves pieces for Ricky Rubio. So just know that those types of shirts are out there, and they are in cards. And in fact, if you look a little bit closer or even use a different picture, there is a logo of Karl Anthony Towns from this product that has the number 32 written on it. It's definitely from one of these shirts. And I feel pretty confident that it's the one that he's wearing in the picture on the right. I can't prove that for certain, but you can do the eye test there and try to match them up. But I do think that those might actually be a match. If not, they are eerily close. All right, so let's continue looking at different warm-ups, because that's just something that I'm seeing a lot of from here on out, and it's some of the stuff that I haven't shown yet, except for maybe in other videos, right? So you've seen these Nuggets warm-ups in one of the long warm-up videos I did a couple years ago. Well, now they're making their way into Silhouette as well. So here's a Malik Beasley that's got that same style. And then we might as well move into some more Adidas shirts here. So we've got the Climacool logo for Aaron Gordon, and then also for Dame Lillard there. And I believe that's from the same shirt that I've been showing you pieces of for a while now, including in my Big Flawless video not long ago for that Aaron Gordon Hoops for Troops logo, man. They've been working with that shirt for a while now. So I showed you the Lillard there on the bottom, even though I don't have a picture of him wearing it on this presentation. Let's just look at some Lillard stuff as well. I was noticing some of these fuzzy Trailblazers logo patches, and it definitely looks like it's a different type of material. So if you look at it, it's like a cheesecloth, not necessarily like a mesh that's real porous. So I figured, all right, this is a warm-up of some type, probably a jacket. It took me a while to find this one, but I believe it's the style that you see him wearing here on the right, because that definitely looks very fuzzy on that logo there. And speaking of Lillard, this one showed up on eBay like literally 5 minutes before I started recording this. I said, all right, well, let me go find where this one's from. It is a CJ McCollum Rip City. It almost looks like a tribute patch like you would see on the shoulder, but it's actually not. It is the slogans that they used to put upside down at the bottom of the Adidas jerseys, or certain Adidas jerseys. In this case, it was the sleeve jerseys. At least that's the only ones that I've seen him on for the Trailblazers. So that one was a little bit tricky to find a good picture to go with that. So I had to just use this Lillard jersey that is actually the Trailblazers equipment managers put out on their account way back when these first came out. Okay, let's go ahead and move into some additional jerseys here. We've moved past the warm-ups for now. Don't worry, we'll go back to warm-ups later. I saw this tag show up for a James Harden Nets relic, and it's interesting. I've only seen these all gray Nike laundry tags show up with a very specific style of jersey. It's like this Kyrie Irving that you see here on the right. So I was hoping I would see some of the pieces that matched up with the Harden so I could confirm that, yeah, that's probably where it came from as well. This is a 2020-2021 Brooklyn Nets earned jersey, as you see from the graphic there from bballjerseys.com. And I was able to find a couple silhouette patches that go with that. They've got those gray arrows kind of worked into the fabric. So that got me thinking, all right, we know it's from 2020, 2021. The tag said Boston on it. Maybe we'll be able to narrow this down or use process of elimination. So I went to Getty Images and I typed in James Harden Nets Celtics, and 10 events came up. And like the first one there, it's just him at a game where he's not dressed and he's drinking a bottle of water there, a bottle of something. And you see the second one there, it's not the same style. So I went through all of 10 of the events that came up, and only one of them had him wearing this style of jersey. And it's from March 11th of 2021. And coincidentally, that's the same date as the Kyrie jersey that sold via Fanatics that I showed you at the start of when I was going through this Harden stuff here. So I can't 100% prove that that's when that jersey's from, but man, all the clues sure point there. I feel fairly certain that it is. I would feel comfortable saying it is, but I don't have 100% proof. One thing to look out for, he does have two game dated Logo Man from this past year in a Nets uniform. I haven't seen any of them surface yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if you flip those cards over and they say March 11th, 2021. So allow me to hypothesize there, and maybe we can come back to this and see if I was right. All right, some more Jersey stuff. I mentioned the Celtics there because that's who he was playing. Maybe he got some reps in against Peyton Pritchard here, who is wearing one of the Tommy Heinsohn memorial bands, and that's what's in this card here. I've seen these in several cards before, not necessarily all silhouette. I think Flawless is using some of them for the very small Tatum pieces, so you might keep an eye out for that. And then let's go back to a warm up here that I showed, and that's actually a card that I own, the Paul George. I've already shown that card, so that's nothing new. But I just want to remind you of a warm up that they were using in some of these silhouette cards because the tag eventually surfaced here on the left. So that's the tag, like you can see at the bottom right of that warm up shirt. And then the bottom piece, though, puzzled me for a little bit. Where have I seen that at? I know I've seen it, and I had an idea that it might be from the 50th anniversary stuff because they seem to have a lot of 2016, 2017 stuff for Paul George that they didn't get to use up before they started using the Thunder stuff shortly after that. And lo and behold, I did a little bit of flipping and a little bit of, changing the size to see if it would match up with this logo that I already had a picture of. And sure enough, there you have it. That's not the exact same jersey, but that's a zoomed in version that the Pacers posted at one point. So yes, I was able to match those up. And I'd like to have that card, but the seller wants like $800 for it. And that is not going to happen. All right, let's continue with this whole all-star theme here. And let's take a look at this LaMarcus Aldridge tag, which is numbered 2 of 2. And it says NBA All-Stars West. So, usually it lines up with the team that they've got on the card. So that got me looking, all right, we know that this is some type of an all-star relic from his time in Portland. You pull up Basketball Reference and you can kind of draw a dividing line. Well, I just so happen to remember that he was in an Eminence set where they used some all-star shorts. And you can see them for different players here. Like there is an Aldridge in the top left, but there's also Lillard. There's Kyle Korver. I think Jeff Teague was in the set as well. And there's a sample of these all-star shorts on the right. This was from the game in 2015 that was in New York City. And lo and behold, when you look inside the waistband of those shorts, there's a tag that says All-Star West and then size, whatever. That's not necessarily the pair that he wore, but that's a sample of that style of tag. So that one was a little bit tricky, but that one was a lot of fun. You kind of have to use things that you have studied previously, right? So pay attention to these videos and it might help you with some stuff later on. Okay, more all-star related stuff. I saw this Tyrese Maxey here, And I knew pretty much immediately that that was Rising Stars just because we've already seen some of these pieces come out in Immaculate special event materials. And they showed us, hey, this is from February 18th, 2022. I recognized the piece was the same. That's the only time Maxi would have wore something that was orange. So my only question then was, is this from the jersey or is this from the shorts? Not that it matters a ton, but I think I would rather have something from the jersey if it was something that, I was going to buy for my collection. So there was another big clue that surfaced, and that was this bottom card here with it's got kind of orange inside that logo man star. Well, the only place that I see that is on the shorts. So I think I can confidently say that they got the shorts. Maybe not the jersey. I don't know. Maybe they did get both, but we know they got the shorts for sure because that's where the pieces match up. Okay, another tricky all-star one that not only did I have to think about it for a while, but I saw somebody post about it, my friend John on Instagram. He said, was there a Kawhi era with the Jazz that I missed? And he originally thought that they had confused this with some Jazz cards. But then I saw this Kyrie Irving, so I said, okay, I don't think that's a Jazz card. I didn't think it was a Jazz card from the start. I wasn't 100% sure what it was, but now this has me leaning more towards All-Star. And eventually I figured out what it was. Those lines are supposed to represent like the Chicago train system or something like that, all of those colors. And they used them on the All-Star materials from 2020. So just like with the Rising Stars, I assumed, okay, they're probably just using a pair of shorts. That was probably easier for them to get. But maybe some other pieces would come out later on that would confirm that. So lo and behold, then we saw these Kawhi pieces. And pay close attention to the one on the right, because if you look at the Chicago 20 logos on both the shorts and the jersey, you'll notice that the jersey kind of has the jersey material underneath it, although it has a yellow band at the bottom. And then the shorts is inside of all sorts of, some other type of design. I don't even know how to describe that. So it looks like they got a Kawhi Leonard 2020 All-Star Game jersey, but I'm just wondering, like, where did they use that up? I've never seen the pieces of that before. Or did they, get it late and not really get to put it in anything? Or why didn't we see it in more silhouette? I have so many questions. Not only that, I'm going to close with one more question here. I like to do these and I like to try to answer questions, but I also do like to pose a question at the end to get people looking out as well. So then I saw this Luca card here, and this is the only Luca one that I've seen that has that same all-star material. So number one, is this a jersey or is this shorts? And then number two, where is the rest? So maybe you're a Luca collector or you're a patch enthusiast and you're out there and you've seen some of these pieces. I would love if you would send them my way. Like I said, I love learning about this kind of stuff. And that is all I've got for you today. I do have some other stuff that I might do a fourth silhouette video. Who knows? But until that time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.